you have to make sure that you are safe. And I've decided the next step is zombie apocalypse, so nobody is getting into this room. This is the fortress.
No one. You're donezo.
I am. So with that being said, Dustin, you are across the country doing everything. I am here in the glorious state of Michigan, where we are on lockdown, and we are astronomiconversating via the internet.
Yes, we are.
And what we're going to do is we're going to watch the documentary together.
Yep.
And we're going to do our little Mystery Science Theater 10,000.
We're going to do a little commentary.
They're Astronomicommentary.
Oh, my God. We're on another topic.
There it is.
Man.
All right. So, and this is honestly, the cool thing about this is it's the first time anybody not in America will get to see the documentary, because for some reason Amazon Prime only offered it to America and the UK. So our Canadian friends up north, they haven't seen it yet.
Oh, they're going to love it. That's for
So
sure.
hopefully we don't see
the Canadian friends that I made.
Hey, g'day. Hey, g'day. Australians haven't seen it either.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so it's literally UK and America only. So all of our friends, like Ned's never seen it.
Wow.
So without further ado, I am Mike.
I'm Dustin.
He's over there. And let's watch Astronomicon documentary.
Yes.
All right, better than books is how it kicks off. Let's
BTB.
And that is a production company. It's done all of the videos like Sick Man and Place in the Woods, and it truly, this video is gonna be
our production company, right?
Say it again.
Is it our production company?
It is. Magic Ninja Entertainment's production.
You know what I meant when I said our.
Yes.
So as far as we can remember,
Jamie and Paul.
It's in our DNA. It is who we are as people.
I remember having to smoke out that room with the fogger, and I was sitting behind them, blowing it in because the room was so huge.
That's the panel room, like 3 days before the convention even started.
Yeah.
Really just an
empty.
idea.
Oh, look at this young lad.
Yes, sitting in the general manager's office at the hotel.
Little itty bitty ninjas from the
wow. I love young Jamie and young Paul.
Oh, Chester.
Jamie and Paul had seen nothing but
that's Jamie's grandfather, correct?
Yeah.
And a couple really nice green broads.
There's Ashley.
Oh, look. It's cool watching this because it makes me be like, oh, I want to go do this again.
I do. I missed it the second I left.
Ooh. Oh, shouts out to Ken. He's a good dude. He runs our photo ops. It's cool to watch this because I don't see any concerts at Astronomicon.
Interlocked into one.
I see them, but I'm either got something on, like, hosting or running back and forth, trying to make sure the people get there on time. Like,
started having meetings.
I see little bits.
Getting into talks of venues, and the Wyndham Garden, Sterling Heights.
We thought about doing our own. Have a little bit of everything all under one roof at one time. Then
kind of just took off from there and grew into what it is now.
We'll have a really good.
And that's so true. It really did just take on of a mind of its own.
It's steamrolled. Like it, or not, I should say snowballed.
Call me monoxide today. I don't know what you call me tomorrow, but right now we're getting ready to take you guys.
I love the music that he uses.
It kind of it makes me flutter a little bit. I'm like,
and you know what's really sad? So in that clip where Jamie and Paul and them are in that room and that guy's looking around the corner, Matt, not with us
Matt
anymore.
Baldwin, yeah, R.I.P.
We've never seen like
that was an R.I.P. for Matt Baldwin, not for Chester, but also R.I.P.
for Chester. Yeah.
In front of us,
like a little celebration of why they were there. There was no punches pulled. If you were a Klingon, you were a Klingon.
And it's weird to see this and hear them talk about it. Like, even though I was there, it's like watching it, I can be like, oh man, they really do, like, they get so into it. And it's like, makes me be like, oh, we're doing something fun. That was Nick Howard's skateboard. I'm almost glad we didn't do this the first year.
scene.
Yeah.
Surely that.
Well, I don't know that we had time to, man. Do you remember year one?
No, I blacked out.
Chicago, Wizard World Chicago.
You punched a trash can.
I destroyed that trash can. I think they charged us for it.
Yeah, it was
As well, they should have.
It really was.
Now it's grown to a thing that is like a household.
Seems like there's 5 in every state: DCCC, SDCC, NYCC.
Oh shit! Those are all the ones you've been to.
I've been to every single one of those.
Just the fact that everybody
With Twisted.
We are into the convention scene.
Little known fact. I don't know if it's a little known fact or a super known fact. I am almost always with Twisted.
Do it.
Like it's been for the better part of a decade.
Is it more than a decade at this point?
More than a decade at this point. Ah, the old Astro banner.
Jackass and Astronomicon rocks.
That's a big accomplishment for me.
We're hanging out with our hero. That's what it is, man. It's so
I won't talk about my big accomplishment with Darren McCarty.
Let's pause this for a minute. I would like for you to tell me what you remember of the Darren McCarty interaction, because he wasn't there as a guest. He was there.
He just came as a fan.
And I remember being like, oh my God, Darren McCarty's here. And I was like, I got to get a hold of Dustin.
You radioed me and then said, pick up your phone. I said, okay. In the midst of running around and all this stuff, he goes, hey, so do you have any weed on you? And I was like, yeah, why? He's like, Darren McCarty's in the green room and he would like to smoke. And I'm like, oh shit. Well, let me run up to the room real quick, come back down, and legit sat in the bathroom of the green room and smoked weed with 4-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty one-on-one for about an hour and a half.
And so I remember being in the green room and Twisted, because we're doing this documentary, they're doing interviews. They did the Bam Margera and the Dee Snider, and they were hanging out with Linda Blair. And all I see is you peek out from the bathroom with legit the biggest grin on your face. And I'm like, is everything going okay? And you're just like, this is insane.
I never thought, and he's a cool dude.
Yeah, and he loves us.
And then I came out of the bathroom immediately to Nick, who is the director of the documentary. Came out to him like, hey, we need you. We need these drops from you real quick. Have a sit down. And I was like, are you kidding me right now?
And we ended up using some of them later.
We used one drop. It was the very end of it because it was sincere.
Yeah.
But like, I talked to them for a good 20 minutes and they used one drop. I'm like, I told you all this is not going to be usable.
Amazing.
Yeah.
All right, keep it rolling. Darren McCarty.
people that are here, right? Because it's an experience, and you come in here, and no matter what.
And he actually, he was a guest year 3.
Yep.
He was just a person year 2. Came in, wanted to hang out, see what it was like.
Appreciate that.
Fell in love.
Coming back
And just show people that that's what it's about.
Shout outs to Wolf Cola.
Wolf Cola, one of the sponsors.
It couldn't just be me and him. We had to bring in a team of elite ninjas, and that's exactly
Oh my gosh.
I tried to cut so much of myself out of these.
Why? So you put all of that in?
person in that elite team of ninjas.
All of me kissing at the camera, they're just like, do that again. I'm like, really? Are we really going to use this?
Shouts out to George.
I want to say George got the best, the best lighting, the best. Like, look at that.
So this is in the arcade in the restaurant of the Loon River Cafe. That's like your glowing of the claw machine.
It's gonna happen.
They made him look so pretty. Oh, look at Skinny George.
Oh, hey.
Damian Paul.
Oh, we all fluctuate.
What is now where we're at?
So pause it right there. So that part right there.
Little known.
Again, this is little cool tidbits, right? So on Twisted's YouTube, yeah. So this right here on Twisted's YouTube, if you are, I want to say it's like a premium subscriber.
Yeah, you have to be like a monthly subscription or something.
Yeah, this is a music video for, I want to say I Got These Feelings.
Yeah.
And it was supposed to be shot in 3D.
It was shot in 3D, but it just didn't work.
Were you there for this?
Yep.
Okay. So,
I'm everywhere.
Right. So it was shot in 3D for YouTube, and YouTube didn't know how to use the technology themselves. And so, thankfully, Nick, he did what he does, and he did regular camera shots. And so there is a I Got These Feelings music video exclusive to Twisted's premium YouTube. And in this little documentary, you get that much of it.
Yep.
Fun fact.
And it was the backup video they made. They literally shot 2 videos at the same time.
So this is essentially what you would have seen had you again, had we shot a music video for it, but because it was supposed to be 3D and it was 2D or 1D or whatever we call it, it's an extra for those exclusive fans. So you guys can check that out if you are a premium YouTuber at Twisted's YouTube.
I am.
With our record label, with our companies. Astronomicon has been something.
Young Wicked, Red, George.
A couple of little cameos there.
I love for booking and organizing events, dragging my good friends. Vinegar.
Yep.
Pruitt. We all work a great team.
Number 2, Michael Winnegar, the negotiator.
He is a negotiator.
I get
man, the guy who you have to talk to regardless.
That's true.
Doesn't matter if you know me, doesn't matter if you know George, doesn't matter if you know Twisted. You gotta talk to Mike.
I love that.
Ryan Hurst right there, actually. I just seen him in this. Pause that for a second because I don't wanna overshadow Mike's part. But me and Ryan Hurst on the way, I picked him up from the airport. It was 14 inches of snow. We're coming back. There's cars stopped on the side of the road. We almost had to save a guy who was knocked out in his car. We seen him spin. It was like off in the distance, seen him spin, and I guess his head hit or something. And we drove by and he's knocked out, and there's 2 people like walking up to the car, and I look at him, and I was like, I think that guy's passed out. And he's like, should we stop? And I'm like, I mean, I kind of want to. And I'm looking in the mirror, and I see him knock on the window, and his head pops up. And I was like, oh, no, his head popped up. We're good. And he's like, okay, let's keep driving.
The first year is our inaugural 14 inches of snow. Honestly, the fact that we had that much snow, all of the celebrities showed up. We had a really good showing.
All but one.
I think, well...
And he tried.
He did. He sat at the airport. Angry Video Gamer, eventually we'll get you there. But yeah, man, I think that helped with the allure of, oh, you guys are that convention? Like, we went to conventions 2 months, 3 months later, and we're like, oh, we're Astronomicon. They're like, which one is that? I'm like, oh, February, Sterling Heights. And they're like,
they got snowed out.
And we're like, yeah, that's us. And he's like, I want to do your show. I heard it was great.
Yeah.
So that, again, I think that craziness helped our reputation kind of preceded us because people were hearing, oh my goodness, like they're legit.
Like thinking to themselves after it, like, oh man, that con that we thought got snowed out, 4,000 people showed up, whatever it was. They're like, all the vendors made money? Wait, like people showed up in a blizzard? I'm like, because our original Astronomicon slogan or whatever, if you will, when we were out there at Arts Beats and Eats or any of those other places we pushed for a full year before Astronomicon ever even happened was, and I mean, what else do you got to do in February in Michigan? Everybody was like, I mean, you're right.
And that was Michigan people, they're not afraid of driving in that snow.
Not at all. Them roads get cleared quick.
Yes. I'm glad that we stopped in the middle of my little shtick because we have to watch more of it, unfortunately.
Well, that's how I wanted to see your shtick.
No. I'm okay. I know what I say.
Your little pickle shtick.
That's Mike Winnegar.
There's me walking.
I worked for Twisted for...
I got that on.
5.5 years.
Mine says Dustin.
In the midst of...
I'm wearing the zip-up hoodie.
Being a fan.
Hey, there I am.
And I was into merchandise, so I'd always want like that.
The story of Mike Winnegar.
So somehow...
Which I told you.
Speaking of you being into the merch and stuff, I actually had someone hit me up about a merch item today, and I don't know how to answer their question on what they asked me what I think the value is. I'm like, I don't know.
Text me.
To another, and they
Text me. No, but like that has nothing to do with Astronomicon. But that was like he's like.
Well, that's how you got in.
Yeah, I mean, I just know stuff.
Yes.
This is something that I do every day of Astronomicon. I walk the floor at the beginning of the show.
I think both me and you do it, and we don't realize that both each other are doing it. Oh, look at that guy.
There he is.
Look at that guy. That was year one.
Yep.
All at the same time.
He is
You tell by the yellow shirt.
Yes, sir.
Immediately.
True.
The champ.
Approachable, and he just puts a smile on everybody's face and makes you feel excited for whatever.
Little Pugsley Adams there.
A true persona.
Yes.
What I hate.
I love it.
Right here, look at this. Every time we have ever filmed, like you could see the distinction right there. In the hair, in the face. Every time it's the day before I'm supposed to get cut up, and I look like just a hobbit. I look like I'm just been in the forest for weeks.
There's Magic Spells video.
That's Magic Spells.
I love that in some of these shots, you can see a woman walking behind you, cleaning the lobby while you're talking, and they're like, "Oh, we're just gonna do our thing around here."
She didn't care. She was doing what she was doing.
All right,
You shopping already?
Magnus is actually if you can't see him behind there, he's been with Twisted longer than anyone of us. Yeah, anyone. That's the right hand man right there. That's the true right hand man.
Who keeps them on time?
Yep.
Booker T. He got lost at the airport. We lost Booker T at the airport. We do that like once a year.
How do you lose Booker T?
Hold on, I'll tell you. So this commercial that we shot meant for like TV. Like we did this for, I want to say, Dish Network in Sterling Heights and Warren, and they quoted me so ridiculous pricing that I'm like, I'm good. We'll just put it on YouTube.
We made $20,000 for this. That's a 30-second spot, and we're only going to play it at 4 o'clock in the morning.
And then I looked into doing it on like movie screens, like at the theaters, and the theaters didn't even like us. So I'm like, YouTube.
I bet you they'll do it now.
Things have changed in 2 years.
Yeah, 3 years.
Now, to go into this thinking that just anybody can put on a con,
that's not true.
That is
so not true.
The con was fine, but
we thought it was
a shitstorm.
Astronomicon year one was
now that's going to get beeped.
The greatest thing I've ever been a part of while making me have a mental breakdown.
100%.
I think me and you almost fought 3 or 4 times. How many like yelling matches we had?
That happens every year except for this year.
It really didn't.
This year did not happen. Last year was before the con. The year before was at the office. But that always, we're getting better.
It gets to a boiling point where we're just like,
Other side of it,
let me do what I'm doing.
This project.
We all know what needs to happen. Let me do what I'm doing. I'll let you do what you're doing.
Other people.
Yeah.
Would work, 18+ hour days.
18-hour days is very true. 8 a.m. till 3 a.m. Every day, 2 weeks before Astro.
Or whatever convention we're at that weekend.
We went to
Spaulding. We do. We actually, another factoid, me and Michael have I believe it's a 6-hour radius outside of Michigan that we will always travel to any con that's going on. And that doesn't limit other cons that are like, I know you've gone to, what was that, Fantastic Con in DC or something? Or
I went to Awesome Con in DC. I went to New Jersey Horror Con. You're going to Too Many Games this year.
I am. I was supposed to go to Monster Mania, but
stars,
with Coronas around today.
We were trying to put on this opportunity.
Look at Gold Dust. So pause it for a second. Some Gold Dust info, right? So we were the last convention to have Dustin Rhodes while he was employed with the WWE.
Yep.
We were not allowed to get him talking on film because it would risk messing up his release.
Like his pension or something.
No, his release. Like he's like, if I talk on film as Gold Dust, they may not release me. And he
so
never
you broke a contract or something.
Right. He never said it, but everyone was like, he's going to AEW. It was before he had announced. He didn't have the black and red gimmick, but it was like, I got this. And he brought a ring-worn jacket, and that's what he's wearing in this little thing. So anyone who got a pro photo op with him, that's what you got. Yeah. And in true jealous fashion, after the convention was over, my sister, who was his handler, sent me a photo wearing that jacket.
Shout outs to Ro.
She's in the other room, but yeah, man, she sent me a picture wearing that, and I'm like, you suck. Like, that's cool.
You got to wear it?
Yes.
I'm super. I didn't know that.
Got her arms out. I'm like, oh, you're such a douche.
Keep going. Go ahead. You can play.
Anyways, good old Goldust.
Anxiety weeks prior to the event, doing schedules and scavenger hunts.
Mess buckets.
Celebrity.
Oh, yeah. I think that's a Ravenger.
What a name is the Ravenger?
Nobody has your guarantee money. They're being petty over guessing children's age.
That's the beauty of us. We've been through all that.
We have been through all that.
We want to put our guests and our vendors through.
Yeah, it was probably, 2013 we started doing the convention circuit.
Yep.
With all of us and Jamie and Paul, and they would go sign as Twisted and sign for free, and then people would see all these big lines that we would pull because,
we were new and crazy.
And their fans are dedicated. I don't want to say our fans because they're definitely Twisted fans.
Yep.
I'd like to say, here we go. The greatest moment of all the documentary.
It's at the end. His blooper is at the end.
Is it? Oh, man. I'll wait till the end then to talk about it. And he's great. He's also got great hair.
The roads are terrible. It's taking me 20 minutes to get 2 miles down the road.
Some of the guests could have got
their. He must have been driving slow.
No, during that blizzard. He's talking about.
I was in a freaking whatever that big vehicle was, Suburban. I was booking down the road.
I watched Paul from Twisted shovel snow for a woman in her car. That was very, very nice of him. That's how bad it was. Shouts out to Megan.
Get Dead crew in the house. They've been to every single Astro.
Scare Bears. Ghostbusters. Ghostbusters. Again, love the music.
Name the
Beetlejuice there, I would like to say. Pause it real quick. I just want to say this so I don't miss any more. The Beetlejuice there that you saw, he's tracking back to find it.
Yeah, he's right before that.
Yes, the Beetlejuice there was actually, for some of you middle-aged people out there, if you're, I'm going to say middle-aged, because I don't know how far it goes back. If you remember the old Universal Studios commercials with Beetlejuice in it and everything, that was the Beetlejuice at Universal Studios.
Yes. So when Universal Studios had the Beetlejuice, and it was like Beetlejuice Ghostbusters, because they got the rights to all that. There used to be, those live action things. That man worked at Universal Studios as Beetlejuice, kept the gimmick, and now comes to conventions in Michigan and tells us how much he loves Astronomicon, and we love him for it.
We do. Go ahead, play it.
Most with the most, baby.
I mean, we had hundreds of names.
We did.
All different ones. And they were either
we did.
taken or we just didn't agree on them.
It's true.
He said the one, and that's what we wanted, something to encompass.
Oh, they're talking about when you named Astro.
See the stars and the rockets.
Little known, not a known fact at all.
Right. And it just
I was legit just looking through a thesaurus online. What meant, because we had so many names up there. We had Epicon, we had UltraCon, Amazicon, like we had so many Megacon, and we're just what is something that's huge. And Astronomical came up.
So before you say that, like 2 weeks before Twisted and you sat in Paul's office.
I don't believe this. Side note, I don't believe this part.
George isn't a liar, and he will attest to it. And Ron looked it up to be sure. But we looked it up, and I'm like, oh, Astronomicon. We type it in, and I'm like, it used to be a sci-fi convention in like Buffalo, New York, in like 2012, and it went out of business. And
there's also something in Canada with it.
There's also, I think it has something to do with like weird video games.
It's something. I
see the hashtag getting used for like.
It doesn't really matter now because when you type in Astronomicon in Google, we're what comes up.
1000%. And so George and I were like, oh, it doesn't matter. We'll play it off. We'll keep going. And MechaCon is something already in Detroit, and there's so many others. But like you sitting in that room with them and you being like, Astronomicon.
It's usually how it goes, man.
You heard the light bulbs click and the explosions and the fireworks happen in both of them.
You guys weren't even there. You guys came in legit a minute and a half after I said it.
And they're like, no, because you guys were yelling.
I said it to them.
You guys were yelling, yeah, like that's it. Like you guys.
I legit was looking through and I saw astrological, and I was like, or not astrological. What was it? Astronomic. For another word meaning larger than life or whatever it is, you know, something like that. And I said it in my head to the tune of Necronomicon.
Okay.
And I was like, it was Paul and Jamie both sitting there. I was like, how about Astronomicon? And they were like, say that again? I was like, Astronomicon. And they're like, that's it. That's the one.
That's it.
So.
And it was available. And now it's ours.
And now it's ours. And now we got to go ahead. Go ahead. Play it up. Play it up.
Ryan Hurst, you've seen him on Sons of Anarchy.
Ryan Hurst.
Another little side note, it doesn't have anything to do with Ryan Hurst. We met another Sons of Anarchy cast member, and I can't remember his name right now. Do you remember his name?
Is it the one that you guys, hold on, pause it. Is it the one that you guys met without me on tour?
We met him because me and Paul were going to Subway, and
Mark Boone Jr.
That's who it is. We saw him Paul saw him standing there, and he's like, "That's the dude. That's the dude from Sons of Anarchy. Turn around!" And I was like, it was like the most illegal ass U-turn and everything. Pull up in the parking lot. He's just like, "Just get my back. Just get my back. I don't know what's gonna happen." And we walk up to him, and he's like, "Hey man, I'm sorry to do this. I just want to say I'm a huge fan. Do you mind if I get a picture?" And dude starts talking shit to Paul. He's like, "Oh yeah, you want to get it now? You couldn't have got it at the convention yesterday? Well, it's not really fair to these people." And Paul was like, "Look, dude, I understand. I do it. I get it every day." And he's like, "What do you mean you get it every day?" He's like, "I'm also an entertainer, this and that." And he's like, "What do you do?" And he's like, "I'm in a rap group, Twisted." And the four guys that were with this guy all lit up. They were like, "Wait, you're they're like, nah, he's cool, dude." So got a picture and everything. Dude came to the fucking YouTube.
It doesn't matter. They swear it's a
dude came to the show, sat in the barricade for literally, I'd say 3/4 of the show. Sat there just like in amazement, loved it. So there's our other Sons of Anarchy story.
That's awesome.
Ryan O'Halloran, look at this guy.
He's
a vet.
Oh, there's Javon. What a great guy.
Javon, yeah, he's good. I like him. He came to the first one. He came to the third one. He came back from the third one, bringing his boy with him for his first convention ever. I'm proud of that one.
Jeff Anderson. Look at them, the outsiders.
So proud of this. This happened on like a whim. Like they just walked up and was like, "Yeah, we'll do this." There it is.
Boom, there it is.
On the camera.
You feel me?
Okay, so Scott Hall told Nick Howard, he's like, "I can hit people from a distance with these toothpicks." And he's got one every person. He's like, "They want me to hit him in the face. So that's what I do." And he like pinged this kid right in the nose. He started bleeding.
You gotta really get in there on something.
I remember, I couldn't remember who he was wrestling, but I always thought it was the funniest thing. He was wrestling, flicked it at dude's face. I don't remember who he was wrestling, and it landed right in his lip, just sitting there. It was the best thing. Like best transfer ever.
Oh man,
D. Snyder riff from the meltdown from the riff. I'm sorry,
from the meltdown. Woo!
Dyslexia. I'm dyslexic. It happens.
A real Christmas, not a
Johnny Sustar in the corner there. I just saw a little bump of him. I want to give a shout out to Johnny. He's ran the audio every year there. Probably one of the greatest live audio engineers I've ever met.
Look at this.
Okay, so the fact that I had a photo of the parking lot from that same window is amazing to me.
Look how dry it is. No snow.
You want to see year one?
Beautiful. Year one? Here we go. Come on.
Was covered in a blanket of shit.
Ugh.
The parking lot.
And that was after they plowed.
They had a goddamn crane or some big pusher to remove all
that's not a crane. That's a bulldozer.
You're right. You're
or
right.
A tractor.
I don't know my farm equipment.
Young lady, 5 p.m.
It's not carnival equipment.
It's a farm equipment.
No, all right, farm equipment. I thought you said carnival equipment.
She owned it. She was
Carnivals don't have equipment.
Also, another fact on this: you see him knock on one door. He actually knocked on like 10 people's door.
You're right. How y'all
And
doing? Yeah. What up? Whoop, whoop. How y'all doing? Hell yeah. Sir.
Oh my goodness. Holbrook.
Oh, I was on board when they checked out that day.
I love just yelling people's names that I see in the crowd.
And said we'd love.
I get hype.
Next year, let's plan.
Good to see you guys. Have fun. Enjoy yourself and kick ass here. Yeah. Raise some hell. What's up, my brother?
I know about that.
He's been to every Astronomicon.
I think he brought his kid this year.
I saw him one time this year without his paint on, and he almost ran into the room scared because I saw him with his paint. I was like, "Oh, no paint today," and he's like, he recognizes me. He was like, "Now give me 5 minutes." Went and painted it up.
Look at
Only time I've ever seen him without his face paint.
Devontae.
Only Grandma Gerald from Jackie.
You know what it do?
But that was a fun time picking him up.
Again, another person who got lost at the airport.
Yep.
Take the enamel off of your tape.
It's a bigger than life thing that we try to do here in a size that.
I was so husky. Here's a Dustin factoid. I was at my heaviest point.
Phenomenal job. Absolutely.
When this was filmed.
Oh, shut up, Sid.
Sid Haig, we love you up there, bro.
Thank you for everything.
It's a little bit more creative.
Jim Job.
Jimmy. Low Yim Yims.
Metro Detroit kicks off this afternoon.
This was a big deal for me.
I did not have any interaction with him whatsoever.
D. Snyder or Jay Towers?
D. Snyder. Jay Towers is cool.
He said thank you to me in one instance, but getting the TV to acknowledge us, that to me was like, all right, we're doing it.
You are one of those rare people that bridge the gap between horror and.
You know what would have been funny?
Why do Astronomicon?
You know how people misspell twisted all the time?
Yes.
Like when we on a marquee or on a ticket or something, just someone lazy who doesn't think to look it up. If we did that back to him when they put Twisted Sister, but spelled TWICTID. Yeah.
Oh, a wedding.
There you go.
Bryce Barr, Andy Sherman, both of our married couples.
2 weddings.
Yes.
We forgoed the wedding this year.
It's none of your business. God damn it, don't be That's what it means. This is special. This is for us. This means more to us than our own children at times.
Well, my brother, congratulations to you. Thank you for choosing Astronomicon to tie that knot.
As we're going to go into the script read, it's going to be an awesome special selection.
Oh, the script read. Quite possibly one of the most underrated things we've done.
I've never partaken nor seen one.
Michael, it is hilarious.
I heard whoever did Mr. Hanky was on fire that day, though.
Oh, my. I wanted her to come back. She was amazing.
Oh, God.
Paul was pretty good too. He was chef.
Yeah. But look at Chuck doing it.
Chuck Reeves.
Wrapped up the line.
He schools the panel room. I'll be honest.
He does. He does that. He's got a voice for radio and a face for radio.
Ooh.
I also think it's cool. Detroit area people involved in it. We had Home Depot come out last year and coming on again this year to do work.
Every year.
We want to have Junior little laughs go in the morning and build a birdhouse and bring it home.
I'll shout out Paul Rex for that because him and Rena,
they schooled it.
That's been their gig for the last 2.
Hey. God damn it, day 3 at
Montana Josh, Tashina.
Right. We
I'm gonna give them a shout out.
Yeah, they are. Yeah,
they're vets.
Astronomicon.
Look at another TV station giving us props.
All haunted Hions back there.
This is
Look at that.
That's right. This is a big hint. This is Lucille.
That is a prop lady.
Because
that is not Lucille.
It is
Replica.
It is a world of horror.
Oh, Travis, you little sweet baby cheeks.
All right, so fun fact, I put this clip together with Nick because this was
the first
two
year,
different clips, and we put them
actually in a better position than the.
I believe that's called docking.
Well, we doctored it.
Way better.
I don't know what the hell y'all are doing, but you can stand there and kiss the dog stitches for all I care.
All right, pause it. So
I wasn't gonna talk through Sid. I was gonna let him.
So what we asked him to do, which was so cool, and one of the great things about BMVP, who are the guys who filmed this, they caught him right at the beginning of his pro photo op by himself, and they're like, "Will you do something in character as Captain Spaulding?" And so that is him being legit Captain Spaulding and saying some random thing, which I'm like, we have to use this. We have to use this. And, you know, again, Sid, we love you. But
I just want to share a memory that I had with Sid because I always remember it. We were going to do, I want to believe it was a Place in the Woods video, Twisted and Blaze. It was the follow-up to Sick Man. I'm driving with Sid in my truck, going to the shoot, and we're just talking about, you know, whatever. Because at this point, me and Sid had met numerous times. And he told me a little bit, a tidbit of information on his life, or I guess advice that he wanted to give me. And he said, Dustin, I want to tell you something that you should probably think about. Never pay your taxes. And I was like, what? And he's like, until I started making money right around House of a Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, right when I started actually making money and had to get an accountant, you know, I didn't pay my taxes. I just didn't because I wasn't making that much money. So I go to him. He contacts IRS and this and that, like, I want to settle up with the past things. Oh, we thought you died 40 years ago. So now you owe this money. He's like, moral of the story, if they ain't coming for it, don't give them a reason to. And I was like, thank you, Sid.
Oh,
R.I.P. Love you, brother.
Oh, shit. Nah, man. It's crazy because, like, even before Astronomicon, he was so like fan friendly to us and like love Twisted, love George, and so every time he comes to Detroit, George is seeing him and we're going to see him, whatever. But it's like he always repped us. He did Rocket Shock just because we were there. He would wear our hats, and
he would wear that Twisted hat everywhere.
Oh, 100%. And so the last time I saw Sid was after Astro 2. He was at Days of the Dead in Indianapolis, and his fucking line was a mile long. And FedEx lost his fucking bag of merch. Like, didn't show up, wasn't there. So instead of his banner, he put up a handwritten sign that said, fuck FedEx. And I just walked by, and it was like you see your boy, and you're like, hey, what's up? That's all I got from Sid was one of these. And I'm like,
that's all you need.
That's all you know. Again, I'm not going to bother people. And that was it. And then, I was like, I saw the banner and I was like, oh, that's funny. I took a photo, and it was ever. But it's like that man had a sense of humor to the nines, where it was just like he talked shit, and it was one of us. So it was like it was really cool for him to do that in our documentary, and for us to be able to use that.
Love you, Sid.
It's for all I care.
So
he had chutzpah.
Well, we're from Here, I just found out about this yesterday. I came specifically pretty much for BAM, and through the April.
Oh, Bam Margera. There's a story, eh?
I needed BAM.
Is it a story you want to talk about right now, or is that a whole nother story?
That's a whole nother story. So sadly, Bam didn't show up Sunday because he did have, I'm explaining it here, scheduling issues where he was coming back from, I want to say like Macedonia or something. And so we booked him a gig late at night, and he ended up not making it Sunday at Astro. But we made good to every person who
It's a nice way of putting it, but we made good on the people that were there to see him.
And I kind of felt like I was a little bit like short with this guy, and like watching it back, I'm like, at least I took care of it. But I felt like I was like, oh man,
you were short with him because we were doing things.
And Phil signed picture that'll be going up on the wall.
But I got it for him. Look, there it is. Sam signed it, and I took a photo.
Okay. Here we go. I just want to say, number one,
Astronomicon.
Mr. Astronomicon, and if you want to come for me.
I did this voice one time for them, and they were like, they stopped me in the middle of doing stuff, and they're like, hey, let's cut a fucking wrestling promo right now. And I was like, really? I don't know what to say. So I just put this voice on and started talking. And ever since I said that, if you want a shot at the title, you're going to have to see. I've had so many kids come up like, so can I get my shot at the title? I'm like, dude, I'm not wrestling you. Like, I don't even wrestle like that. You want to go out back and fight? Yeah, we can. But number one, you're not getting the belt. Number two, you're not going to win the fight.
Look at these cosplay kids, man.
Ah, there he is. There's the little Wrecker clan.
Yeah.
He was actually he's what, like 2-time, 3-time cosplay champ, kids cosplay champ?
No, he came in third this year, maybe.
Okay, he
won the first year. So he won the first year, then his brother won the second year, or second and third.
Oh, okay.
I don't know what happened the first year.
To the entertainers, the celebrities, everybody, our friends that show up.
Gmo.
They're not just there saying, where's my backstage pass? They're actually buying tickets to come support this event, to watch us grow.
You come here, it's going to be an out of the.
No, it was so chubby.
It's
well. Okay, there's an awkward part of a guy dancing during this little clip, and I don't know why it's in there.
Continue to grow.
I'm waiting for it.
It's coming.
Oh, that was Kev Cakes.
At the end of
yeah, Kev is in there.
A smooth transaction. We want everybody to have memories and opportunities that we wanted as kids growing up.
Or my son!
My
little veteran.
Raven.
Second, yeah.
It's just going so quick.
Yeah, I like it though, because you can get a lot of info for a lot of stuff in there. Come on,
we got so much more footage too.
Always gonna be
that never got put out.
Yeah, we could do a whole nother one of these of just B-roll.
We could probably do 2 or 3 of them. Like, think about it. This is a 30-some minute documentary, and we filmed 12 hours a day for 3 days.
With open arms and
and that's 2 cameras. So that's 24 hours of footage for 3 days. So 36, fucking 72.
I would tell them, guys,
36.
Don't even worry.
36. 12, 24, 36.
It's been wonderful.
No, 2 cameras. You got to double it.
Oh, yeah.
There's
it's just amazing. It's an awesome show.
Get Dead Crew again.
Love you guys.
There it is.
There it
is. That is the only part they used from a 20-minute sit down. Because I told them I was I was in the bathroom way too long with Darren.
There it is. Awkward dancer. Oh, I forgot Kane Hodder was in that wedding.
Kane Hodder, I would give him love. Me and Kane Hodder have the most ridiculous relationship ever.
And
first time I met him, he punched me in the chest.
And a year after that,
because I had the wrong Jason tattooed on my arm. The second time I met him, he choked me and sent me to the hospital with strep throat, ear infection, all kinds of stuff. Anyway, so the bride asked me, because we were arguably running a little bit late, and she was getting a little flustered, and she was like, you know what would help? Could you get Kane to walk me down the aisle? And I'm like, I got you, fam. I know he'll do this for me. He almost killed me. So I went up to him. I was like, hey, man, can you spare 20 minutes, half an hour, and walk our bride down.
Champ. I'm that guy.
That right there is why they did that.
I'm the champ.
Because I'm the champ.
All right, hold on.
And he's, huh?
He calls him Gmo Steve.
I want to call him Gmo Steve for the rest of his life. That is the best thing. Oh, there's my boys. There's my boys.
To those
Nick
guys.
and Everett. Everett, quite possibly, the first time I met him, he kind of scared me a little bit because I'm like, oh, he's a CCW in Michigan, which means he's allowed to conceal, and it happens in Michigan. It's a normal thing. But when you first see it, you're like, oh, that's you're just that guy. You have that. Turned out to be quite possibly one of the coolest people I know, man. I love him.
Love it. We're collectors. We collect stupid shit, and we love
it.
We do.
We do.
Oh, that face.
They love putting that face in there, man.
My shirt's a little wrinkly.
It happens. It happens. I'm a sweaty character. I told you I'm glossy, naturally glossy.
He is naturally glossy. There he is, Everett. You mother.
Just some cool behind the scenes stuff.
Got any other tricks?
Molly monoxide.
That's terrifying.
Kid friendly. So many children there. Oh!
They're great.
G and Kev.
The best. George and Mike, great organizers, and I'll do anything for them.
Not for me, though. Except for tell me not to pay taxes.
What's it like working at Twisted? They have me doing stuff that I never in my wildest dreams thought I would do. Like, we're doing a pop culture convention. That's crazy to me.
So pause it, right? So because I'm the dude who gets to go and edit this with Nick, when they asked me that question that day, immediately the first thing out of my mouth was, it's a blessing and a curse. And so I had them crop that out to be like, probably shouldn't say that because it was like, that was the Bam Margera day. So I was dealing with a fucking nightmare. And in retrospect, it would have been funny, but I didn't put that in. But like, it's a little tidbit. So there you go. There you go. God damn it.
Working for them and doing customer service and merch and web store shit, that I would curate this event. It's insane, but it's amazing. I'm glad everyone's here. There's always something.
You can tell we don't want to talk. I can tell in Mike's demeanor. I'm like, yeah, Mike didn't want to talk. Yeah. So is that it? Can I leave? I got stuff to do, guys.
Oh, you're fucking interrupting me.
Astronomicon 2 being just a couple weeks away, weeks. Yeah,
we'll be there.
I'm
Rob Miller from Season 8 of Face Off.
Oh, shout out Rob Miller. We love you.
Come on down. It's fantastic.
Hey, Patty Mullins in there twice.
Well, what are you going to do, babe? What are you going to do with
Patty Mullins? She was awesome. Stubbs.
Oh, Stubbs.
Shout out to Stubbs. You're up there with Sid.
We love you, Stubbs.
Work with Twisted. It's lovely. I love Twisted. I've been a fan of Twisted since I was 12 years old. So to be able to manage these guys is pretty fucking cool.
I told him he sounded so angry in that little clip.
They did. Really did.
They must have
and the Shermans, the Shermanator.
Look at the Sherman. I've still never gotten a picture with fucking
that wig.
You've done it twice.
That wig is the greatest wig I ever bought. I've got like 4 selfies of me and him just with that wig and different like hair twists.
I still don't have a picture with Batman and Robin or Joker for that matter.
I don't have an actual picture with them. I have pictures of them that I took and pictures, a selfie with them separately.
All right, pause it.
Blaze's Superman, you remember that?
Yes. So the props that we gave at the end of this were to Matt Baldwin, who passed away after this was shot, and Gary Reed. And Gary Reed,
true shout outs to him.
He is one of the driving forces that we have a convention. We were going to do it with him before he passed away. He is famous for the Dead World comic books. And
he's kind of the reason we have Haunted Ions too.
He is, absolutely.
Yeah, so, if it wasn't for if Gary hadn't been there and taken a chance, R.I.P. rest his soul. But if he hadn't taken a chance and none of this, we wouldn't be doing this right now.
Yeah, so I felt it was appropriate to give him props at the end as a special thank you. And, you know, obviously he wasn't there to see Astro, but I'm sure he is proud of what we put together. Yeah. But there it is, man. There's the Astronomicon documentary for those of you who did not get to see it yet.
Where's the second one?
It's almost
Where's
done.
the third one?
It's almost done.
Why do we not have a series of these yet?
Do you know how much goes into these things? It took us like...
I know how much goes into them, Michael. Yes.
It took us like 8 months to have that one, but the second one, it's a little bit shorter because at a certain point, some of this gets redundant. So we could, compact it a little bit. It'll be like it's like a mashed potatoes to the steak that is your first ever Astronomicon, the making of a pop culture convention documentary. Coming soon.
Coming soon.
That's all I can say about that. But yeah, man, hopefully you guys enjoyed listening to me and Dustin watch this and talk about it. Hopefully we didn't ruin it for you. And
well, at least for the Canadian and Australian people who haven't seen it, they're just like, you talked through the whole thing. I couldn't hear anything.
I guess I didn't think about that. You know what? Come to America. Come to Astronomicon 4.
You come to Astronomicon 4. We will screen it for you there. I will watch it with you.
So that's another thing. Like while we're talking Astro, I was talking with George. We got to figure out a way to do like movies.
I've said this since Astro 1.
You gotta find you gotta find the room.
You gotta find the room, but I think we can. There's I got some ideas for you. I'm not gonna say them now, so Chuck has them all.
We'll talk.
I'm talking about my ideas, Chuck.
But yeah, man. Again, thank you guys for taking the time to hang out with us. We hope you enjoyed this. Comment along in the chat. We'll type it and say hey and whatever. And yeah, man, we'll see you at Astronomicon 4.
Wash your hands.
Stay safe. Stay healthy. We know that nobody can really get out right now. That's why we're doing this.
That's not even for Corona. I'm saying in con life in general. Wash your hands and wash your ass.
And with that, I bid you adieu.
Here's the story.
So as far as we can remember, we've always loved conventions. It's in our DNA. It is who we are as people.
This is the most unusual con I think I've been to.
To see all of your interests interlocked into one place.
And Astronomicon has been something that we've been talking about for years.
And it just took off from there and grew into what it is now.
We'll have a really good con.
What's up, it's Bam Margera from Jackass, and Astronomicon rock.
We had to bring in a team of elite ninjas, and that's exactly what we did.
The very first Astronomicon, produced by Twisted, no less.
Everything is here. It's awesome.
Phenomenal job. Absolutely love this con.
We're here because of them.